Doctor Who is turning 60 this year and it's still looking pretty fine. But how did we get from this...
We can never rebuild the world outside...
to this? Well, it's the 60s. There's a Beatlemania going round. Humans are going to space and America gets our young hip president.
We choose to go to the moon!
In England, 1963, the BBC wants a new sci-fi series. They want this show to teach children about history and science, but in a cool way. Producer Verity Lambert, director Waris Hussein, and the head of BBC drama department Sydney Newman come up with the idea of Doctor Who. They cast William Hartnell to play the first Doctor. But what's the show about? The Doctor is an alien that travels in time and space in their spaceship, the TARDIS, which stands for...
Time and relative dimension in space.
That's disguised as an old English police box that's bigger on the inside. In these adventures, they meet aliens, different people from history, go to different worlds, and have a fun time all in all. The iconic theme tune is composed by Ron Grainer, arranged by Didier Derbyshire with the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. This also comes with a freaky opening title sequence. 23rd of November, an unearthly child airs. At Coal Hill School in the 20th century, teachers Ian and Barbara are concerned about a pupil.
Susan Foreman.
She's kinda weird.
Of course the decimal system hasn't started yet.
They follow her home to a junkyard where they find an old man.
Oh, go away.
Susan's grandfather, the Doctor.
Oh.
They hear Susan inside the police box and barge their way inside. They are shocked to find it's a spaceship that's bigger on the inside.
But it was just a telephone box.
The Doctor ends up having to kidnap them and sets the TARDIS in flight as they end up in the Stone Age and get up to some shenanigans. The Doctor, Susan, Ian and Barbara are the first TARDIS team. Uh-oh. The team lands on a desolate planet with high radiation levels as they come face to face with the Daleks.
Well, move ahead of us and follow my directions.
Mutated beings stuck inside a metal casing, only wanting to destroy.
Exterminated!
They become the iconic enemy of the Doctor. They defeat the Daleks and we escape Skaro and head off to the past to meet Marco Polo and to the far future. As we continue, something has invaded 2167 AD Earth. It's the Daleks. They get defeated by the gang. And, uh-oh, iconic moment. Bye-bye, Susan. She stays on 2167 AD planet Earth with her new love, David, to clean up the mess.
One day, I shall come back.
As quickly as we say goodbye to Susan, we say hello to our new companion, Vicky.
You killed Sandy. Why? What made you?
We visit a space museum, and now
The chase is on.
the Daleks are back. And they're chasing our heroes through time and space. As the Daleks fight off robots, mechanoids, the gang find a human prisoner on this planet called Stephen.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Who later on stows away on the TARDIS and becomes a new companion.
Stephen!
Ian and Barbara find a way back home and leave the Doctor to be back in
London 1965.
The new gang meet another Time Lord, the Monk, who is a menace to time. They are easily defeated and we won't be seeing them again.
Doctor!
We head to a Galaxy 4 with these cheeky chumbles. We gain a new companion, Katerina from ancient Greece. Vicky stays behind because of, you guessed it, love. The Daleks return with a master plan, like a 12-part master plan. Another companion joins the team, Sarah Kingdom, but Katerina gets ejected into space and dies. Then Sarah gives her life to help defeat the Daleks. A lot of deaths in one story, but it only means space for one more companion. Dodo joins Stephen and the Doctor, and we meet the celestial being, the Toymaker, who lives in their own domain outside time and space, where they love to play games. He gets defeated by the Doctor, and he might return again.
But you defeated him!
Yes, just at this moment, but there will be other meetings in another time.
And now, a cowboy episode.
At the last chance. It's your last.
We say bye-bye Stephen, and later on, bye-bye Dodo. And now, hello to Ben and Polly. Oh no, William Hartnell was getting too old and ill to play the role of Doctor Who. What do we do, says the BBC? Well, just recast the role of the Doctor and then somehow put it in the lore of the show. The first Doctor's final adventure, we meet the Cybermen in the North Pole.
They will not return.
And the first Doctor is dying from old age, and from there they start to regenerate. Probably worth mentioning before, the Doctor can regenerate, which means when they are hurt or killed or dying, every cell in their body changes, including what they look like, so that's pretty cool. Little footnote, at this point in the show, regeneration is known as renewal. That term is not coined until later on in the series. Iconic moment, the first Doctor regenerates, and we say goodbye to William Hartnell. And then we say hello to Patrick Troughton, who'll be playing the second incarnation of Doctor Who. Kicking off this new era, we get a new logo and a brand new theme tune. The second Doctor is much different from the first, being a bit more younger, has a funny little haircut.
Oh my word!
And is pretty goofy. Oh, and they can play the recorder as well. But on his first adventure, we meet them again, the Daleks.
Exterminate all humans!
And we meet the Doctor's boyfriend. Scottish lad Jamie McCrimmon joins the TARDIS.
Try to give us a smooth takeoff, Doctor.
And I mean new best friend. Please don't hurt me, Fraser. Then we meet Krabs and we say goodbye to Ben and Polly. But then we go back in time to meet Victoria Waterfield in a nice mansion with a crazy scientist. I do hope nothing suspicious is going on. It's the Daleks, of course. And they're pretty evil and dizzy. And the Cybermen are back, but in a tomb. Pretty neat. We meet an intelligence that's pretty great at using Yetis. They use them in the Himalayas. Oh, another enemy, the Ice Warriors. And now, oh, a Doctor clone. Wait, remember those Yetis? They're back, and they're in the London Underground. Train fans and Doctor Who fans cheer everywhere. We meet this guy called Colonel Lethbridge Stewart. He'll be important later. The Doctor gets this neat gadget in the next episode.
What's that? It's a sonic screwdriver.
But for now, we say goodbye to Victoria, and we see the Cybermen again in space. New companion time, Zoe Herriot, a genius from the future, and then we see these funny dudes. Quarks! And now, back to London, and that colonel from before, he's now a brigadier and in charge of some group called UNIT. Oh no, London has a sewage problem. It's Cybermen, an iconic shot outside of St. Paul's Cathedral, more Ice Warriors, and it's an end of an era. Patrick Troughton confirms to be leading the role of the Doctor. The final story, The War Games, airs its 10 episodes, where we say goodbye to Zoe and Jamie, as their minds are erased with the Doctor and they're sent back to their time by the Time Lords. Oh yes, we meet the Doctor's species,
Time Lords!
and they exile the Doctor to Earth and force him to change his appearance.
You can't do this to me! No. No.
It's the 70s. We get roller discos and ABBA. And this man called Davy Jones wondering if there's any life on Mars. Doctor Who is just getting as popular as it ever was. And who do we get now? An actor already high on their list, Jon Pertwee, joins the show as the third actor to play Doctor Who, but he regenerated so hard that the show is now in colour. We get a brand new opening title sequence and theme tune. And now the Doctor is stuck on stinky, stinky Earth.
Oh, jeez, and you got the stink lines and everything?
They are back with UNIT and team up with the Brigadier and new companion, Liz Shaw.
Exactly.
This Doctor is very suave and dresses like a king. In their first adventure, the Doctor meets the Autons, plastic dummies that come to life. We meet some Homo reptilia, also known as the Silurians. Fiddling around with the TARDIS, the Doctor ends up in a parallel universe where the Brigadier and Liz Shaw are evil. The Doctor safely returns from this universe, and Liz Shaw has quit upon his arrival in the next series.
Miss Shaw went back to Cambridge.
Now we say hello to icon Jo Grant as the new companion.
I'm your new assistant.
Oh, no.
The Doctor also gets a yellow car called Bessie.
So let's ride, let's ride. Let's ride.
Bessie, how dare you go gallivanting around like that?
The Doctor faces off against the Autons once more, and then we meet this guy called the Master.
You will obey me and no one else.
And guess what? They're a Time Lord too, and they're pretty evil. The Doctor knows this sort of karate. What's it called again?
Venusian karate.
They also wreck the Master completely.
But you haven't seen the quality of my footwork yet.
We meet Axons, Sea Devils. And all in all, we have a really fun Earth time with everybody. And what day is it? It's Day of the Daleks, and they are back. They're gone. Oh, look at the time. It's anniversary time. 10 years of the Silly Alien Show, and William Hartnell comes back on a screen.
I seem to be stuck up here.
Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee team up, and they are fighting Alpha, Beta,
Omega.
Yes, another evil Time Lord who lives in an antimatter universe. The Doctors defeat Omega with the power of friendship and a recorder. Oh yeah, the TARDIS has been fixed, so the Doctor can go to faraway planets in the BBC studio parking lots and quarries.
Look, they've sent me a new dematerialization circuit. They've given me back my freedom.
Honey, I Shrunk Doctor Who and Joe. What we're gonna do about it? Wales is covered in maggots and they are disgusting. They defeat the maggots and Joe meets Welsh eco-boy Clifford Jones. They end up getting engaged and she leaves the TARDIS and we get a really sad ending. We need a new companion. How about Elizabeth Sladen? She plays an iconic companion called Sarah Jane Smith.
I'm a journalist. Sarah Jane Smith.
Here's a potato. Back in London, there are dinosaurs roaming the streets. Another Dalek episode, this time with powerful music. And who is this good-looking fellow? An eye with arms? Are you scared of spiders? Viewer discretion is advised as we go to a planet full of them, and they love crystals. Unfortunately, the Doctor gets radiation poisoning as they head back to Earth to regenerate in front of the Brigadier and Sarah Jane Smith.
A tear? Sarah Jane?
We say goodbye to the third Doctor, and for the first time the words regeneration are used, the process the Doctor goes through when they die.
Well, here we go again.
But who will replace John Pertwee as the next Doctor? Tom Baker. The fourth Doctor is eccentric with a long scarf and is now the face of Doctor Who for parents of the 80s who will never shut up about it. He's ready to save the universe and to trip up over his scarf. We are back with units and the gang is here. Brigadier and Sarah Jane Smith as they fight a giant robot. Sarah Jane Smith is here to stay with a new companion, Harry Sullivan. Apparently, he's an imbecile.
Harry Sullivan is an imbecile!
In this series, we go to space where there's an ark. We meet the Potato Boys again, the Sontarans.
Knocker!
Ever wondered who made the Daleks? Davros is his name.
Exterminate!
Making evil tanks are his game. The Cybermen come back. That was alright.
Excellent.
We meet shapeshifters Zygons in Scotland.
Very good, very good. Almost impressive.
Harry stays behind and we say goodbye to him.
I think I'll stick to Intercity this time, Doctor.
The next series, we find out there are pyramids on Mars with an ancient evil, and we meet Morbius. No, not that Morbius. Along with these guys who appear as previous incarnations of the Doctor. That's cool. I bet that gets explained next week. Give me a hand with this, please. No, not like that, Sarah. The Doctor has been summoned to Gallifrey and can't take her with them.
So I can't take you with me. You've got to go.
So the Doctor drops her off to Croydon. No, wait, Aberdeen? We say goodbye to Sarah Jane Smith. There is a deadly assassin on Gallifrey, as opposed to a friendly one, with the crispy boy. Wait, that's the Master. The Doctor gets a new companion, Jungle Gal Leela. She joins the Doctor and they meet deadly robots and they go to Victorian London.
We don't want to be conspicuous, do we?
We get a new companion in the shape of a tin dog, K9.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Also, the Sontarans have some fun in the TARDIS pool.
Meanwhile,
the BBC do some spring cleaning and throw away some tapes to make room for the new. The BBC junk a lot of the first, second and third Doctor episodes, so now a lot of Doctor Who is missing. Back with the Fourth Doctor, Leela is going now.
I will miss you.
And we are joined by Romana, who is also Gallifreyan.
My name is Romana Dvaratna-Lunda.
I'm so sorry about that. Is there anything we can do?
She is tasked to help the Doctor find the key of time in a series-long arc. She regenerates a couple of times because... Slay! And ends up with Romana too. They have fun adventures, meet some Daleks, go to Paris, see the Mona Lisa, and they head off to Cambridge and meet one of the campest Doctor Who villains we've ever seen. Unfortunately, this episode never makes it to air. Let's hope we get 3, 4, or 5 versions in the future. It's the 80s, and it's all about going to malls, listening to Madonna, and making mixtapes. It's pretty rad. Doctor Who enters the 80s with Tom Baker, and it's still going strong. And Romana goes away with K9. We gain a new companion, young math nerd Adric. Then we head off to Traken and we meet Nyssa. Whoa, put the gun down, buddy. The Master is still crispy from before and needs a new body. They decide to grab Nyssa's dad's Treymas's body.
Oh, he's feeling!
Aussie gal Tegan is off to work, but her car breaks down. So she goes to the TARDIS, thinking it's a police box. Psych, you're now a companion with no choice. You'll never get to Heathrow now.
Take me right back where you found me, Doctor whoever you are!
Tom Baker has been here a while and changed Scarf twice already and had like more than 5 companions in his own run. Not a fan of the way things are going, Tom decides to leave the role. JNT, the producer, is already in talks with a new Doctor Who. Peter Davison, thinking he was too young to take on the role, is a bit reluctant, but in the end says yes. After falling off a radio dish, the Fourth Doctor is a goner, iconic regeneration.
It's the end. But the moment has been prepared for.
The weird ghost crusty guy we've seen in the whole episode was the Doctor all along. And enter Peter Davison as the 5th actor to play Doctor Who. Spin-off alert! Sarah Jane is back and she's got her own K9 from the Doctor and she gets the most littest theme tune. So 80s. Unfortunately, her series doesn't get renewed this time round. The 5th Doctor. They're young, hip and blonde. They also play cricket and they have a stick of celery on their lapel.
Sorry, mustache.
And we are heading on trippy adventure to Castrovalva.
Someone's manipulating Castrovalva. We're caught in a space-time trap.
Ooh, shock iconic moments. Cybermen come back for the first time in a while and Adric gets obliterated. The credits roll with no music. Guess who's back?
Brigadier!
And this episode starts one of the biggest controversies, the unit dating controversy. Do what you want with this info. A new companion called Turlo joins the Doctor, who is secretly an imposter and has made a deal with the Black Guardian, some evil guy.
Obey me in all things.
Nyssa leaves the Doctor to help survivors on a spaceship. Oh, and this cursed robot joins the crew.
Welcome, my dear.
Wait, Peter, you want to leave by the end of the 21st season? Already? Fair enough. Hey there was that guy in the episode, you know, that Commander Maxwell? Colin Baker is confirmed to be the 6th actor to play Doctor Who, but before we meet a new Doctor, we have a whole season left. Anniversary alert.
Not another one?
20 years of Doctor Who is here, and Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee return to the role of the Doctor for this special. Since leaving the show, Tom Baker isn't so keen on returning. We also have Richard Hundrell taking the role of the first Doctor after William Hartnell's passing, and he certainly brings an interesting vibe to the role. The first showing happens on the 23rd of November, 1983, in America. And it's transmitted in the UK 2 days later.
You what?
The wonderful anniversary welcomes back a plethora of companions, such as Sarah Jane Smith, K9, Susan, Brigadier, and cameos from plenty others. The Doctor joins forces to play the game of Rassilon in the Death Zone after being kidnapped by a triangle. The fourth Doctor is stuck in clips from Shada for the whole episode. Back to the show. Tegan leaves the Doctor because of
trauma.
No, don't leave. Not like this.
I'm sorry.
We meet Perry Brown, who is on vacation in Lanzarote and stays with the Doctor. From here on out, it's just traumatic for her.
Who are you?
We say goodbye to Turlo, who's not an imposter anymore, and Chameleon, the cursed robot, finally gets killed off. We now say goodbye to the fifth Doctor in the climatic caves of Androzani.
Is this death?
No, it's another regeneration iconic moment. The Doctor and Perry get poisoned, with the Doctor giving the only antidote to Perry, thus sacrificing themselves. The regeneration begins and boom! Colin Baker is now Doctor Who.
Change, my dear.
The sixth Doctor starts their journey very erratically. They get the most chaotic outfit that even Colin doesn't like himself, and they just go ham on Perry and accuses her of being a spy.
Sent here to spy on me.
And tries to strangle her. That's only the first episode. The Doctor meets the Cybermen again and meets a new Time Lord enemy, the Rani. She's an evil scientist, but her outfits are very slay. Patrick Troughton, loving Doctor Who, returns in the Two Doctors with their friend Jamie. They fend off Sontarans in Spain. It's pretty chill.
Stop.
Doctor Who meets their new enemy, a bloke called Michael Grade, who doesn't like the current state of the show. It's violent, has silly stories, and even rubbish sets. He puts the show on an 18-month hiatus. But the real enemy really isn't this right now. It's Doctor Who fans, because they made this. Doctor in Distress. It was not allowed to be played on BBC Radio because of its low quality, and it's one of the most least successful charity singles of all time. After its 18-month hiatus, the show returns, no thanks to the song, with a season-long arc named Trial of a Time Lord.
Villain! Murderer!
We meet Mel,
Carrot juice!
It'll do you good.
who is the only companion we don't see her first adventure on screen. She joins the TARDIS and we say goodbye to Perry Brown, who goes to be with Brian Blessed. And suddenly, Colin Baker is announced to be leaving the role of the Doctor. Michael Grade is still here, ready to axe the show, but it still has life in it just yet. Poor Colin has to leave the role against his own wishes. Tabloid The Sun announces Scottish actor Sylvester McCoy will be taking the role of the seventh Doctor, but a regeneration scene hasn't been done yet. Let's get Colin back for it. No, he says, and good for him as well. The Doctor hits their head within the first minutes of the episode of the TARDIS console, and Sylvester McCoy in a wig regenerates into Sylvester McCoy without a wig. And we meet the Rani again, and she leaves the girl.
That's the man I want.
Now sissy that wow.
The seventh Doctor has an eccentric costume, filled with question marks, along with their umbrella. They can also play the spoons quite well. We say goodbye to Mel, and we meet one hell of a companion.
Ace!
Joins the team with her baseball bat and her homemade dynamite. What's that? We meet the Daleks again in 1963? Round the corner of that junkyard? And for the first time, we see the Daleks take on...
Stairs!
Also Big Gun Dalek. After defeating the Daleks... the TARDIS gets briefly barbified.
Professor, look what they've done!
Yes, it looks rather good.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
And then we go see the greatest show in the galaxy. The Doctor and Ace have amazing adventures. The Cybermen return, and they are very silver for the jubilee of the show. We meet the Brigadier again, along with another Brigadier.
Brigadier Bambera.
Slay!
Oh, hello, it's America. We love Doctor Who, and we should do a co-production deal. Yeah, well, I'll think about it. Final episode of the series, a furry fight with the Master.
To my new home, Doctor.
I'm not a furry.
And with that final episode, the 26-year run of Doctor Who comes to an end, and Ace and the Doctor walk off towards the future. Doctor Who finally cancelled. Will the show ever make a return? It's the 90s. Another decade has passed. Doctor Who is no longer on TV. The internet is here and it sounds amazing. Spice Girls are in, along with Bart Simpson t-shirts telling you not to have a cow, man. This show never dies. Virgin Books gets busy and gets some people to do some books. Also, these guys do some as well. They might do some stuff one day. 1993, Doctor Who turns 30. It gets a nice logo, but what will they do? A full-length feature episode? A new series? How about a crossover with EastEnders instead? Dimensions in Time, a 3D adventure, airs on Children in Need on the BBC, and we meet the Rani for the final time, or as Victoria calls her,
That terrible woman!
The phone is ringing again, and it's America, and they're wondering what's happening with Doctor Who. British actor Paul McGann records a screen test for a new idea of the show. A year goes by, and Paul McGann is confirmed as the next Doctor. 2 days later, he is jetted off to Vancouver to start filming the new Doctor Who production. Sylvester McCoy joins along to do the regeneration scene. In the TV movie, the 7th Doctor is on their way back to Gallifrey to take back the Master's remains, but unfortunately it doesn't go to plan. They end up in San Francisco and gets gunned down upon stepping outside the TARDIS. They regenerate in a hospital ward into Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor, the first of charming doctors, and being a romantic with their long hair and velvet suit. The Doctor has to stop the Master from taking their regenerations and ending the world.
I always dress for the occasion.
The Doctor gets help from a new companion, Dr. Grace Holloway, and they showed all smoochy smooch at the end. After saving everyone, the 8th Doctor is off by himself on more adventures. Unfortunately, Paul McGann doesn't get the series he deserves, but would return to narrate some BBC books down the line. Comic Relief on a Doctor Who thing. Stephen Moffat writes a little story, and we get the next Doctors. Curse of Fatal Death airs on Red Nose Day.
Say hello to the sofa of reasonable comfort.
Wonder if this guy would write for the series again. 19th of July 1999. Big Finish has entered the chat. An audiobook company has Doctor Who rights and they release Sirens of Time. This moment begins a range of audio adventures for the classic Doctors, and even in the future, new Doctors and companions. They even give Colin Baker a proper regeneration story later down the line. Paul McGann gets plenty more Big Finish stories. Fans get loads of comics and new adventure books with deep Doctor Who lore that people will still speculate about to this day. But hey ho, the show is not on air, and fans want more of this silly alien show. One fan's pretty keen on bringing it back though.